What up, YouTube? It is Brothers on the Grid here with you today with another video. Today we have a special guest, Garrett. So put your hands together for him. We're really excited to have him here.
What's up, bro?
So today we're doing something very special. We're going to be watching Netflix's F1 series, Drive to Survive. We're starting with episode 1, and we're going to work our way through the series, reacting to it and giving you guys our opinion on the series and F1 driving and just everything as a whole. So
Yeah,
buckle in and get ready.
it's just gonna be really fun. I've seen it before. Lana, have you seen it?
Yeah, I've watched it as well.
And then Garrett, have you seen it?
I have not. I've
So
never
we-
seen any kind of racing at all.
I know we got a newbie. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
As you can tell, we're dressed up as coaches because we're going to be providing some informative feedback.
Yep, definitely so.
So Garrett, you don't know like anything really about Formula One, do you?
I know nothing. I think the only thing I feel like I'm pretty confident about is like there's like Dante 800 or something where they go in circles, and then there's F1 where they don't go in circles. That's like the base of my knowledge.
Dude, you're
And
pretty
they went
much
to
there.
Vegas recently. That's it. That's all I got.
And that's why we invited you on.
Let's go. All right, sweet.
Because I want you to like start to understand, because you've made comments to me in the past of like Formula One sounds dumb. And so we're going to give you some feedback and we're going to show you why it's cool.
Okay. I'll yeah, embrace the challenge. Let's see if you guys can pull it off. Yeah.
Race the challenge. Like there's a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So should we get watching?
Yeah. If you guys want to watch at home along with us, we're going to click play right now.
I remember as a kid, I could hear the echo through the city. It's like this scream when they get into a 200 mile an hour car. It's almost fight or pilot mentality. Anything can happen.
See, an accident. I'm not worried about that. I'm willing to do anything.
Let's see who's the best.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it there. Like literally chills. I just want to make sure Garrett understands like what all of that just was. So
it's called an introduction.
So that's why this is a very good introduction of why I love Formula One, because they just pointed out a bunch of different things. One, there's 10 teams. Each team has 2 drivers. So there's 20 teams, there are 20 people total driving. These are the 20 best drivers in the world. A lot of people, even people that are driving not for Formula One and they're driving for these other types of races, a lot of them still aspire to be Formula One drivers because it's the top drivers in the world. So like the best of the best, with few exceptions when they're able to have a lot of money and make it in. But outside of those few exceptions, the best of the best, it's like a super high intense like sport. But then on top of that, it's also an engineering feat. Every year they design a new car and they have to create the best engineering feat possible. And they have to put the best drivers in those to try to win. So that's like why Formula One is so cool. It's not just people having super awesome skills. It's not just engineering. It's the combination of both.
Okay. So they have to make new cars every year.
They don't have to, they get to.
Oh, yeah. Dang. My bad.
Yeah, so every single year, they either through rule changes and a lot of times because they want to try to improve their car, they make a new car every year. So Ferrari actually just announced a couple of days ago that they're going to be showcasing their new car on February 13th. So that's when they're going to do their big reveal.
Wow, that's going to be sick.
It's really cool. Anyways.
So like, if they're making new cars every year, wouldn't it just be like the richest company that wins every time?
So that's how it used to be a lot of the time, is the cars that had the most money would win. So This year, for example, it's Red Bull. They have a lot of money. Prior to this, Mercedes dominated for multiple years. Prior to that, it was like McLaren and Ferrari. Prior to that, it did change, but the top teams would. They recently put on a cost cap. This was a couple of years ago. So they're only able to spend so much money per year to try to level the playing field.
Oh, that's really cool, actually.
Yeah. So it literally is, can you get the best engineer and can you get the best driver? That's what it comes down to a lot of the time.
Yep.
Obviously,
Brains and
there's a lot.
bronze.
What?
Said brains and bronze.
There's obviously a lot more to it than that, but that's just an introduction.
Okay.
Anyways, we'll get back to watching.
Okay, sick.
I love Daniel Ricciardo.
He's
Not
so
just
cool.
because he's Australian. Not just because he's Australian.
Can you imagine being like, I'm the best driver in the world? That is so cool.
Yeah.
Friday practice. Teams have 90 minutes to test their setups around this 3-mile circuit.
I would love to go to all of the Formula One stadiums to watch it in person.
Oh, wouldn't that be so cool?
I'd be happy to go to one. This looks sick.
I mean, same. I'd be happy just to go to one.
Yeah.
And Daniel Ricciardo's just so good looking, am I right? Woo!
Hot
I'll
stuff.
say it, Mom would never let us do this.
Drive Formula
There's
One.
not a
Yeah.
chance.
Not a chance. She sees a brake light 300 yards out. She freaks out. I don't think she would.
Yeah, when she sees like lights ahead, like on the freeway, miles, she's like, "Okay, they're slowing down." You're like, "Mom, I know."
I know.
I think it's going to be a really exciting year because we've got 3 teams that look capable of winning races. Last season, Hamilton and Mercedes.
Oh, my favorite driver.
Top 2. This season, we're really.
But who, him?
Your little man crush. Yeah, that guy right there.
No, Lewis Hamilton, the one prior. Hey, don't knock on Vettel's name though. He dominated for years, but
That's true. Yeah, we'll point out
So-
Lewis again when he pops up.
Is Max in this series? He's the one name I've heard.
Max Verstappen!
Only name I've ever heard and I know of.
He comes into the series. I mean, you'll
Sick.
just have to watch and find out.
What?
You just have to watch and find out.
Sick.
The size of the very biggest teams like Ferrari and Mercedes. So it's not a level playing field.
I wish I had as sexy of a voice as that. His voice is hot.
Oh, that's awesome. Make Haas great again.
There's a lot of money in Formula One. Can you compete with the teams with the big budgets? It's pretty hard, when you're talking 500-600 million or 140 million. But you just got to keep trying and trying.
comprehend those numbers. Garrett, you're an accountant. I'm going to pause this for a second. Imagine, so you're an accountant. Imagine you all of a sudden get a job and they're like, okay, we need you to manage our money. So imagine they say $147 million. Like, how do you even comprehend those numbers?
You don't. I don't know. I just.
To build a car.
It would just be such a pain because the overhead in the factory. Oh, it would be like, because they like track every. I saw a video where they made like one bolt one time for a car, and it went through like 18 different machines and like 13 different tests, and I was like, the cost for one bolt and like how much you have to like break down each machine. It's insane. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
the
even to
accounting.
wrap my head around it it'd be a mess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would.
And then
Well,
there's
yeah.
moving people and moving the car to where it needs to be, and the whole team supporting the drivers and the cars. And
Oh, payroll alone for the team is insane. It's like 10% to all like the workers and then 90% to the driver. But still, it's like
You're like, okay, I'm gonna pay myself. Oh, I only get a little bit.
Cool.
Cool.
Wait, they're American?
They're the only American team. That's why I made
And
this
none of
hat.
them.
Got
I love
sprayed
that
again.
one American team had like, I swear, hardly any Americans on it. They all
Well,
sound
yeah.
European.
But it's
But
owned by
we
Americans.
bought it. We bought it. We can shove our money into it. I'm down.
It's the first Friday practice. Teams have 90 minutes to test their setups around this 3-mile circuit.
Okay, so a lot of times how the weekends work is you have 3 practice sessions, then you have qualifying that sets where
What
you're going
order?
to be for the race, what order, and then you actually have the race day.
Dang. All right.
So it's a Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday.
Dang.
Well, I guess they're talking about all that.
We're just better than them. We could explain it.
Yeah.
It's sure. So wait, do some teams not even qualify? They can't even race? Or do they take the
Everybody
top
qualifies.
best 20? How does that work?
There's only 20 people on there, and so if you're last, you're 20th. That's where you'll start.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Qualifying, it's not really qualifying for the race, it's qualifying for what position you'll start in. So the
Got it,
fastest in
okay.
qualifying is first, second fastest starts in second place for the actual race, so on.
Okay, that makes sense.
Though Daniel's on the team right now, so
I like Daniel.
So Red Bull's not considered an American team?
no. They're like Austrian or something.
Interesting.
Garrett misses the one person he wants to see. You just mixed Max Verstappen.
No! No, bags. He's on the Red Bull team?
Yep,
That
he
makes
still
sense.
is to this day.
That makes sense.
As a race car driver, your feeling is so in tune that you know after a few laps if the car is fast.
The first time I watched this, I did not understand what they meant by that. Because fast is like less than 0.5 of a second of a difference between fast and slow. Like, but they can tell, and it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
He's got confidence in that car.
Are there supposed to be sparks? Is that normal?
Yeah. So a lot of times they're trying, this is the engineering, they try to get like essentially as low to the ground as possible for like drag, to reduce like drag, but also then to like get better grip. And so a lot of times they do have sparks, but there's rules around that. They can't be like so close to the ground, but they still do have sparks a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna pause real quick. So there's actually like this little part on the bottom of the car that's like their indicator if the car is too close to the ground. So if that gets wear and tear on it, then they're like, hey, your car is too close to the ground. And they get in trouble for that. So they'll actually put giant metal plates on the bottom of the car, so that way it grinds on the metal plates and not on that part. And so, yeah, there'll be just tons of sparks throughout races. They're like designed for that.
Dang. I was just about to say, if they like scrape enough, they might lose some weight and make them faster, but they don't want to risk it. That makes sense. That's really cool how they like, that's just how they check. They check at the end of the race and they're like, hey, it looks good. We're good.
Yep.
Well, there's a lot that we'll talk about later about that.
Okay.
Because like, for example, like Hamilton and a couple of people got disqualified, but they didn't even know until after the race because there was too much scraping of that thing, and like you don't even know until after you've done all of this stuff. So I don't know. There's pros and cons to it.
Really? So even though they might be like the winner, you're just like, ah, but then like, yeah, that's weird. Huh. That's tough. That's
Yep.
But I'm trying not to give you too much information for your introduction to Formula One.
got it. All right.
If you start in a good position, you have a much better chance of winning the race.
No shit, Sherlock.
What?
I said no shit, Sherlock. If you start earlier, you probably have a better chance of finishing earlier.
Who would have guessed?
My name is Kevin Magnussen. I'm 26 years old and I drive for Haas F1 team.
Oh, Kevin.
Oh, Kevin.
Kevin. I don't know who this man is, but he seems cool.
Who's that next to Kevin?
When I drive, I don't ever think about the consequences.
Do they get punished for doing things like that? Like bumping into each other?
You can. So they, like the FIA will review it in lifetime and say like either you need to give back your position, maybe you get like a couple seconds penalty or a couple different things. It all depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Got it.
So yes, you can't just crash into people.
That's how you win. You just make it really strong and just hit everyone else.
Becomes like one of those robotic like competitions.
Becomes a derby.
To drive a lap fast, it's all rhythm and feeling. You feel just like one with the car, as if it was your body.
So we all grew up playing lacrosse. I think like when he talks about that, it reminds me of like the lacrosse stick almost becomes like an extension of your arm after you've been playing for a while. Do you know what I mean? It's like you know exactly where the net is, you know exactly, you know, like it just like almost becomes an extension of your arm at some
Like you
point.
see the ball coming and you just put out the stick and just catch it without thinking.
Yeah.
Like when you're wrapping around the goal from behind, it just feels natural when you just sling it at the goal. Yeah. It just it feels nice.
So that's what I imagine when he's saying like it just like becomes part of your body. I'm like, I guess I kind of get that to a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also always been kind of crazy to me that like the lower down teams like get a hype about getting 5th and 6th. Like, we're starting 5th. Or like the other teams like Red Bull and them are just like, oh, we got 5th. Oh, we're screwed.
It kind of makes it fun to cheer for like the lower teams though, because like when they get 5th and 6th, you're like freaking out. Like it's so exciting.
Yeah.
And you see like their genuine joy. That's why I love Daniel. Like he just does that stuff.
Just answers their cell phone.
So buddy. How heavy are the cars? 'Cause I know they just lift it by hand, right? I mean, not literally,
Yeah.
but they just.
Yeah, they're like 5 pounds.
Dang. Wait.
I'm
5
lying.
pounds?
I actually don't know.
I
how
think my
heavy
brain
they
just
are.
fixed it to like
For
500 or 5,000 pounds. I don't know.
for all you Europeans out there, that's 3 kilos.
No, they're. I don't know. Actually, if we could look it up, their exact weight.
Okay.
Because they have restrictions on how much they can weigh.
Yeah,
Okay.
but they're pretty light.
Yo.
Airplane.
Everybody.
You have a car going in excess of 200 miles an hour, racing wheel to wheel. These guys have an almost fighter pilot mentality, and that's what separates them from mere mortals.
Mere mortals.
We're so puny in the presence of these men.
But you know, they're still not quite fighter pilots.
Ooh.
Fighter pilots, F1 drivers, the rest of us.
It's like fighter pilots, F1 drivers, the rest of us.
They should put a fighter pilot in one of these cars and then a regular human in one of these cars. Just so we can like
And then an
no,
F1
yeah.
driver in a fighter jet.
And then you've got 30-second warning.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
And then all the mechanics go.
Wait, what are those covers? Like, wait, what?
The grid.
They're blankets.
They keep it warm?
They keep the tires warm so you have better grip when you start.
Oh, that's cool.
They think of everything.
It's crazy that like the heat of the tire is a consideration.
Oh, it's a huge
big consideration. We'll be talking
Yeah.
about that probably every episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because people have to change their tires more if it gets too hot and they go too fast and everything, but then they don't have enough grip and they go slow if it's too low, and it's a big thing.
The tire management's a big deal.
Oh, sorry. My subtitles weren't working, so I clicked it.
Wait, are you not in it anymore?
No, I'm back. And my subtitles are working now, so we're good. My bad.
Dude, look how close they are. And just like, they're flying.
Going so fast.
See, I don't even think about that. That's why I don't think I'd be a good driver, is because I wouldn't think about safety first.
Screw safety.
I mean, yeah, they're probably stressed out seeing all those scratches, so they're just happy with anything. Let's be honest, they're still winning big. They just made it to this. They're winners, really. Like, they're here.
You can just see the disappointment.
That was intense. My heart is racing.
Oh, your body's not.
this.
That's so fast. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, they do it in between like roughly like 2.5 to 3 seconds, changing all the tires.
Oh, sometimes even faster than 2.5. Like,
Yeah, I think the record this season was like, I can't remember. Actually.
1.5.
like 1.8
I think
or something.
1.8. We must be right if we both said the same thing.
I just saw it when they set the world record, just like trending around Reddit.
And who's that going slowly? It's Kevin Magnussen. Kevin Magnussen in the Haas. He's just come out of the pit lane, and now he's grinding to a halt.
Stop for the car, stop for the car, stop for the car, stop for the car, stop for the car.
And that's Haas, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Magnussen was on for a sensational result.
Like they had
Now he's
a
retiring.
crazy good qualifying, as you remember. Like 5th and 6th, everyone was freaking out. Both their cars didn't make it to the finish line.
Both?
This is
That was the
other
second
driver.
car.
It's messed up.
But, Gene, we finished 4th and 5th here. We fucking look like rock stars, huh? And now we are a fucking bunch of wankos. Yeah.
That is my favorite quote from the entire Drive to Survive series.
Look like wankus.
Rock stars. We looked like rock stars, and then we looked like wankers. Can we create shirts that say that? The problem was the bolts on the car, they didn't put them on tightly enough, I think, for both cars. So like the pit stop crews.
Yeah, they said it with the front left tire, I'm pretty sure, and you could see it kind of wobbling. So that just means he didn't like.
They did it on
drill it
both
enough?
cars, one after another. Didn't put on the tire fast or tight enough.
Imagine being that person, because there's one person that is the one that's doing it.
Well, it's gotta wonder because you probably like it's just muscle memory. You just pull for like 2 seconds and then it should be done. So maybe even just like the machine wasn't like being quick enough that tightens it. Like it could just
No,
be all.
it was the guy.
It was okay. Yeah, we hate him. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
We're blaming him.
It's just that's just I hate like team sports when it's like your fault. You just feel so bad. And then when there's like $1.4 million on the line and you mess up, you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
You know what it's like messing up and disappointing everybody, right, Landon?
Yeah, Landon.
I'm just kidding.
Sadly.
I'd love to be winning tomorrow.
Is that a GoPro on the bottle? I see.
That's my ultimate dream.
Might have been.
Pretty far from that at the moment.
Probably.
Yeah, they gotta get content at 80. Yeah, there it is. See?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, that shot though.
Yeah, shot. Man.
Probably just covered, like can't even see anything.
He like holds it as a knob to like attachment, you know?
Just see his arm.
Garrett, don't tell me you're gonna be a Red Bull fan.
Dude, they're so cool.
Oh no!
They had a guy parachute from the max height possible. It was so sick.
Oh, Garrett, no.
Where
no,
did
we
we
need
go
someone to be a
wrong?
Red Bull fan because I'm going to be dissing on them for years to come. So we need someone to cheer for them.
Yeah, we need
Okay.
someone to
Hey, you know, we keep winning. I'm just gonna be chilling. So,
Dude, that was your introduction to Formula One. What'd you think? I want to hear your thoughts.
that is intense. There's just the amount of attention to detail in Formula One is insane. Like it's not just a bunch of rednecks putting together a car and just going fast, you know?
Is that what you were thinking it was?
I mean, I knew they're Europeans. I knew they're classy, kind of, but you know.
That is
Making
going to
that
be the
mess.
quote of this episode. They're Europeans. I knew they'd be fancy.
Yeah, but man, I just like it just the intensity and also just seeing all those clips from the racing and just the depression I felt in that one scene when the car didn't work, the other
Oh.
car didn't work.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just you feel for them. Oh,
Garrett, you have no idea how many emotions I felt this year alone because of Formula One.
Oh,
really?
Yes.
So explain to me, they're not out completely, right? 'Cause that's just one race. There's so many circuits, right? Is circuit the right word? Is that right?
a Grand Prix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grand Prix. Okay. So so Haas is still in it, right? They'll still race in other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like a lot of races throughout the entire year.
There's
Okay.
like 21 or something like that.
So how do they know who the ultimate winner is? Did they take a total? Is there like one final race?
So there's two ultimate winners, actually, kind of. So they have each race, they get points for which position they end in. So the top 10 that finish get points. So like number 10 gets 1 point, all the way up to number 1 gets like
I think 25.
25, something like that. And so they add them up throughout the season. Each race, they get more and more points, and then just whoever has the most points at the end of the season is the winner. But then each race, the teams get points for what position both of their cars place. And so even though like Red Bull could have the fastest driver, if their other driver sucks, then their team wouldn't get as much points, and another team could win the team championship even though their driver won the driver championship.
So there's the best team and there's the best driver.
Yep.
Got it.
Which becomes a big factor sometimes.
That makes sense.
And then depending on where you place is like how much money you get, and then also how much like wind tunnel time for testing your car you get. So there's like a lot of things that go into like why you want to place higher or different and stuff.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
Dude, but this is just your introduction to Formula One. I hope you really enjoyed it. This season, there's some drivers that said, I'm not going to do the Netflix show. So you actually won't see like individual interviews with them for like Max Verstappen or Lewis Hamilton or Vettel or a couple people, because they were like, no, we don't want to do this. But then in later seasons, they see like how good it is, and then they have agreed to it. But that's why Daniel Ricciardo was like almost the face of this entire season, because he was the one that was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And so the other ones are like, man, he's getting a lot of love from normal people. Maybe I should.
Yeah, pretty much.
That makes sense.
It just took off, and they were like, oh, maybe we should, huh?
That's hilarious. And so how long is there an episode for every race, or how does this?
No.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know how many episodes there are in the first season. Maybe there's like 10 episodes for the entire season. So they lump some of them together. And that's some of the criticisms with especially the first like 2 seasons of the show is they kind of like have a narrative, but then they get better at the storytelling and more people are invested. So then they kind of, in the later seasons, let it play out kind of how it actually happened. So yeah, it's interesting.
I love that.
Yeah, but each season covers like one actual race season. So
okay, yeah. Wait.
This is like the 2018 season, I want to say, is the first season of this. And then it just goes from there. So season 3 is really interesting. Because pandemic.
Hold on to your pants for season 3.
Oh yeah.
Everyone knows. Don't look ahead.
I will. I'm like gonna have to like resist the temptation to go and watch this whole series tonight and binge it. So
don't do it.
I will stay a virgin to episode 2 until we watch it.
Yeah, you're a virgin.
No. I just lost my. I still haven't actually seen the. Wait, what? I haven't actually seen an actual race, but I could say that I've lost my virginity to watching F1 races in general, or like a show. Actually, I've seen Ford versus Ferrari. I don't know where that counts, but yeah.
We have to do a reaction to that one because I actually haven't seen it.
You haven't?
Oh,
so good.
Dude, it's a good one.
It is.
Okay. Maybe eventually we'll have to.
Yeah.
Anyways, bros, thanks for joining me, and thanks for doing an introduction to Formula One.
Thanks for having
Sup,
me.
bro.